Leading a startup team, whether you're delivering a sugar rush, stocking coffee, or getting a regular delivery of snacks, Office Depot has solutions that fit every startup culture, from getting those first business cards and stationery to ordering fleece pullovers with your new logo. To learn how Office Depot and the California Technology Council have partnered to bring you savings on all of these startup essentials and more, go to californiatechnology.org/member benefits. I'm Daniel Levine, and this is the Bio Report. We spoke to Erin Fitzgerald, Senior Vice President of Marketing at Sermo, about the social networking platform, how it's used to solve hard-to-crack cases, and the business model underlying the free service for physicians. Erin, thanks for joining us.
Sure, happy to be here, Danny.
We're going to talk about Sermo, physicians, and how social networks are being used by doctors to tap the expertise of others. Let's start with Sermo itself. What is it, and who's able to access the platform?
We'd like to think that Sermo is reinventing the curbside. Sermo is a virtual lounge that facilitates medical collaboration and crowdsourcing, from sharing challenging patient cases to asking tough questions. Physicians come to Sermo to get the answers and support they need in real time. Today, we have over 100,000 verified doctors spanning 150 countries, and we're growing every day. It's really an exciting time for Sermo.
What's the range of things physicians use Sermo to do, and how does it work?
Sermo enables doctors to anonymously talk about real-world medicine, review treatment options via proprietary drug ratings platform, collectively solve patient cases, as well as earn honorarium from taking surveys and contributing their wisdom to the industry at large.
Given the position you're in, one of the things I imagine is you have fairly unique insight into the issues that are top of mind on physicians today. What kind of things are you seeing and hearing?
Sure. Physicians talk about, current events and national, news cycles just as we do. So, there's feedback and conversations going on about everything from vaping to the use of CBD medicinally. We also hear a lot on the platform about physician fatigue and burnout, and the amount of time spent on more administrative tasks rather than with patients, as well as some of their gripes with EHRs and the interoperability of some of those systems, and how to truly take vacation and step away from work. And really, there's some aspects of the conversations that many of us could relate to.
One of the newer functions that you've alluded to is the ability for doctors to use Sermo for medical crowdsourcing on difficult cases. How exactly does that work?
Sure. Physicians have the opportunity on Sermo to open what we call a patient case. And I think what's really interesting and unique about this opportunity is they're able to open the patient case with either communicating that they want a second opinion. So, they feel like they have their diagnosis, but they really want to kind of crowdsource how they're going about the specific case, and they can get comments and leverage the inputs of their peers that way. Or they can open the case to be solved, saying that they need support to be able to solve this particular case. And we see patient cases really be a main driver of interaction engagement throughout the platform.
Are there a few case examples you can offer for how such crowdsourcing worked and helped solve the difficult case?
So there's quite a few examples. One that we've shared, a few actually that we've shared recently on our Solved on Sermo blog is, I think one that's notable and worth pointing out is this case where a physician was asking the opinion, the wisdom of the crowd on whether an 11-year-old was potentially suffering from schizophrenia or if they had a potential depressive disorder.
Is there another example?
Oh, yeah, there's a few examples. There's also been an example of a patient case that was opened about an eye injury from a workplace accident that a 68-year-old technician in refrigeration suffered a work accident, and they weren't actually sure the eye disorder and the type of body sensation as well as discharge that was a result of the accident. That was also solved, on Sermo and had a very high number of comments from physicians globally.
And what kind of information do doctors put into the system to get help? Is it just a brief description, or do they actually upload diagnostic results or, any kind of patient files?
They upload diagnostic results, images, sometimes videos, but largely just images. And they also include information really shaping the core of the case. Everything is, de-identified. I think that's very important to make that clear. But they do include information about, age is important, the incident that has taken place, if there's any dynamics that are notable, like in the case of the sixth grader, in which that there was some really kind of like strange behavior where there was about 15 days where the child had only urinated twice. There was an issue with the way that he was eating as well, and that was diagnosed to be a depressive disorder within of just a couple of days.
I think of the doctors I know being fairly overtaxed these days. How do you get physicians to go online and review other people's patients? What's the incentive for them?
So I think there's many benefits of joining and being part of a platform and a community such as Sermo, but I think in this specific regard, there still is that human nature of wanting to help, and that's, why many physicians, especially nowadays, kind of get with a lot of the challenges and the overtaxing and fatigue that they face. I think that at the core, physicians, go to medical school to be able to, help people and build a livelihood from helping people. And, we really, once patient cases are posted, we do amplify them through our, community to the physicians that would be able to help. So I feel like the real benefit to physicians is to be able to continue to extend the value that they bring day to day to patients, but to be able to bring that globally to their peers participating, in the community.
I know you mentioned that the medical information that's shared is de-identified. Is that automatically done by the system, or do the doctors inputting the information need to take any special precautions to protect privacy?
Sure, that's a great question. So physicians have the choice to be anonymous or not throughout their experience on the Sermo community. In regards to patient information, they're all practicing physicians are very familiar with, HIPAA laws and privacy rules. That's something that is largely done by them proactively when sharing information. And we also have a community team that monitors the platform for breaches as well.
Do physicians that share patient information need to get any kind of consent before doing so?
They do not have to. The information that they share is de-identified, so you're largely given a gender if it's applicable, potentially an age range, and then some of the dynamics of the case, but there's not specifically, a lot of times geography isn't even shared.
Sermo doesn't charge physicians for using the platform. What's the business model? How does Sermo make its money?
The platform is free to the healthcare community. Sermo monetizes the platform by leveraging the wisdom of the crowd and of physicians, and enabling physicians to take surveys by the healthcare industry, and we pay physicians for their time in taking surveys.
So World One, which is a marketing firm that provides healthcare data, owns Sermo. How does it get insights into physician perspectives and behavior? Is it only through the use of those surveys, or is it able to glean other information from physician activity on the site?
No, it's through the surveys. So, one of the main value propositions of Sermo for physicians is to supplement their income by earning honoraria and sharing their wisdom and knowledge with the medical community and healthcare ecosystem at large. So through the surveys that are targeted to physicians based on their specialty and so on, they're able to, earn additional income for their time. And this comes at a time for them. A lot of physicians find this to be a really strong value proposition, given that, reimbursements continue to decrease. Student loan debts have never been higher. So a lot of physicians find this valuable in contributing to their, overall financial portfolio.
Is there a typical amount of time a physician spends a week on Sermo?
On the platform, physicians typically consume about 14 to 15 pieces of content, and throughout the course of the week, they are spending about 30 plus minutes or so on the platform. Now, there's many ways that they also interact with a lot of our survey tools as well, and that can really range from 10 minutes to 3 hours for one survey. So if you have a physician that takes a few surveys a week, that could very well be 5 hours or so a week.
You mentioned that physicians can be anonymous on Sermo. What control do members have on what data about them is collected and shared?
We verify physicians in 3 ways, and this is largely the information that we collect on them. That in order to allow physicians into the community, we need to verify that they're actually physicians, and we do that by a valid state ID, as well as valid medical credentials. And then from there, each Sermo physician is de-identified, and they're in aggregate, some of the sentiment or tone or conversation is analyzed to get an understanding of what the pulse and the heart of the community is, but there is not information that's shared. There's not PII that is shared.
Sermo's not alone in trying to build a social network for physicians to collaborate. Why should physicians choose Sermo? What's the case for your network being a better place for physicians to turn than your competitors?
So I'd like to, Sermo is the, original trailblazer in this regard. I mean, Sermo was, founded in, I believe, 2004, 2005 by physicians for physicians. I believe it was a social network before even, potentially MySpace or Facebook. And I think the value proposition of being part of the community, really leveraging the wisdom, of the crowd, being able to, talk amongst peers, gather insights from peers, rate drugs that, and give your perceptions of how those treatments have helped patients, as well as earn honoraria for your time in taking surveys has really proved to be a valuable proposition, for physicians.
Is this competition sustainable, or do you expect there'll be either a consolidation or a natural pull of gravity that draws physician to one platform over the other?
We feel that our community has sustained the last decade or so, and certainly grown. There are a lot of companies and even administrative tasks pulling for physicians time, and we feel like the value in Sermo of being part of the community and being able to leverage the support and the network, and also contribute to the financial profile of a physician really is quite strong. So I'm sure that at points there will be consolidation within the industry and the companies that compete for the kind of timeshare of physicians, but we don't see that there's a lot of really heavy competition in regards to what Sermo, the core Sermo offering and value proposition.
Erin Fitzgerald, Senior Vice President of Marketing at Sermo. Erin, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Danny.
Thanks for listening. The Bio Report is a production of the Levine Media Group. To automatically download this podcast each week, subscribe to our RSS feed or through iTunes or other podcast manager. To join our mailing list, go to levinemediagroup.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line or are interested in sponsoring this podcast, send email to danny@levinemediagroup.com. Special thanks to Jonah Levine, who composed our theme music, and the Jonah Levine Collective, which performs it.